I'm just going to talk about how to get an electric car. Because we're here talking about electric cars as part of the Solarize Plus campaign, I wanted to first take a moment and really highlight what an excellent match electric cars and solar panels are. My boss will always say that they're like peanut butter and jelly. They go together quite well, but there's a couple of reasons for that. So basically, if you are charging your car with your solar panels, that means your transportation costs go way down. And depending on the size of your system, they can go all the way down to zero. If you're thinking about putting solar on your roof now and either already have an electric car or think you're going to get an electric car sometime in the next couple of years, it's worth thinking about sizing your system so that it will meet the additional load that your electric car will bring. So we have a resource that we can share that helps walk you through some math to figure out what that means for you specifically, but the solar installers through the program can do that as well. But roughly speaking, adding an electric car, you can think about it as adding about 3 kilowatts of additional capacity for your solar system. So some people opt to just add that additional capacity now and then just have it and then know that they're going to get an electric car next year. Other people prefer to install a system that is add-on friendly. And I will be the first to admit that I am not a solar expert, so I will point specific questions about this to the solar installers. But I do know that many of the people who have electric vehicles through our program, like the ones featured in these photos, also have solar panels and love the combination of the two technologies. One other thing that you can do is you can consider a solar inverter that is also an electric vehicle charger. So if you're going to install an electric vehicle charger in your home anyway, you can consider getting a solar inverter that has that dual function. The main benefit is that the federal tax credit for the solar installation extends to the vehicle charger in this case, but there is actually a separate federal tax credit for a vehicle charger anyway. So for most people, this ends up being a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but it's worth putting up there because some people's homes, this kind of installation actually makes the most sense. But again, I will happily direct further questions to the solar installers directly. So I will talk a little bit now about the Drive Green program. So as I mentioned before, we have a network of dealers who offer pre-negotiated discounts on a monthly basis. I first want to highlight though that we also now feature pre-owned vehicles. So we launched this feature basically right before COVID hit, but basically the dealers in our network, if they have used electric vehicles in stock, can post them right on our website with as much detail as we can squeeze out of the dealers. And when you come to the website, you can sort and filter by different characteristics and try and find a pre-owned vehicle that works for you. So this is a feature that we're really excited about and are hoping to expand this year despite all the chaos in the world. But we mostly want to highlight it because we recognize not everybody's in the market for a new car. But as more and more cars are coming off 3-year leases, this used market is really expanding, and that's something we're excited about. But the program itself, I'm actually going to just go straight to the website and show it to you in real time. Instead of, okay, good. So this is the website. Basically everything I just talked about you can learn about in more detail on these subpages on the left. So if you want to dive into charging in detail, there's tons of information there. But basically when you're ready, you can click explore the cars and sign up for discounts. You can choose new, set your state as Massachusetts, and then hit browse the cars. And here this brings you to a form with all of the vehicles that are generally available actually in New England. So you can sort and filter by different characteristics to help narrow down your choices. So for example, if you're interested in a pure electric vehicle that gets over 200 miles of range, the form will readjust so that you are just looking at cars that meet that criteria. And then for each one, we have the same information listed. We have the type of car, the range, the style, whether it's all-wheel drive or not, battery size, efficiency, miles per gallon electric, all of that, in addition to the sort of starting price, the federal tax credit, state rebate, all of that. You can go to the manufacturer's website if you really want to dive into the color options and the packages and all that, but usually we recommend that you check off one of the cars or 10 of the cars that you're interested in, and then move on to learn more. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll see what the different trim levels are, and sort of narrow down your choice even more from there. And then when you click see your deals, you'll come to a page where you can see different car dealers' prices side by side, and all in the same format. So here, I'll zoom in a little bit so that it's a little bit more visible. You can see the price before discount, that specific dealer's drive green discount, and then an expiration date. So right now we're at the beginning of the month still, and the dealers sometimes take a while to update their prices. So this is an expired deal, but as of tomorrow, it will not be expired anymore. Then you'll see the mass state rebate, federal tax credit, and then the final price is simply subtracting these 3 layers of incentives from that price before discount so that you can compare between dealers and also between cars. Then we ask our dealers to post as much detail as they can about any special financing requirements or additional things that they want to offer you. So over time, sometimes dealers have offered a charging unit or free charging at the dealership or 3 years of tire rotations, things like that, and try and get all of that up front and center. And then on the lease side, we do the same thing. We ask for the total money due at signing, monthly payment, lease term, annual mileage, and then we list the state rebate again. So as a consumer, you can come here, you can check off one dealership, you can check off all of the dealerships, and then you just complete the sign-up form. What happens when you submit this is that we notify the dealership that you are a Drive Green program participant and therefore qualify for the deal that they've listed. And we also send you an email saying, you've signed up for this dealership. Here is the phone number and the name of the EV specialist at that dealership so that when you call, you can make sure you're talking to somebody who can actually tell you about the car, and not just try and sell you a pickup truck. Although electric pickup trucks are coming eventually, but in the meantime, they'll direct you to the cars that are available. The final purchase or lease is between you and the dealership, but we at Green Energy Consumers are available at any sort of step during this journey to talk to you and try and help you figure out what car might be best or how to think about charging. And you can email us, call us, and then we'll call you back because none of us are in the office, or you can even chat with us in real time during work hours. But our goal with this whole thing is to just make the whole process smoother because we know that buying a new car is never fun. But particularly if you're adopting a new technology, it's nice to have a sort of third party that you can get your questions answered from.